I've been joined in the studio today by Sue Rhodes. It's been a while since we've been together.
It has, hasn't it?
And you've just come back from Houston.
I have, yes.
Tell me about the Quilt Show.
Oh, it's a wonderful quilt show, Val. It really is fantastic. It's a very high standard, but that's not really surprising because it's a juried show.
That makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It makes a huge difference. And the categories are really different to a British quilt show. They're very much interested in surface design, and there seem to be a lot of quilts based on photographs, photographic images.
Right.
They also have a section on animal quilts, scenery, landscape sort of quilts, and some very good art quilts. The overall winner, they're big prizes, and the overall winner was a traditional, what I would term sort of an American sampler quilt, but absolutely beautifully made.
Executed.
Really beautifully made. And our own lovely Philippa Naylor won the miniature section.
Oh, she's such a clever girl.
She is. She's wonderful. She's my teacher. She's wonderful. And her miniature was exquisite and deserved to win its prize. So it's a fantastic experience to go.
And they do workshops, don't they?
They do, yes. Yes, I learnt my New York Beauty.
I was going to say you're going to share this
I
with
am,
us.
yes. I learnt it at the workshop. The workshops take place generally before the festival opens, but some of them continue throughout festival as well. They're excellent workshops, mostly.
And now with online booking, you can get ahead of the game, and you really do need to.
Yes, you do.
They're very popular.
I wanted to work with a particular Japanese artist who was coming over, but I missed it. I went on the waiting list, but I never made it in there, so I was a bit disappointed. You do have to be quick.
Yes.
Americans have very keen quilters. There's some really, it's exceptional work that you see, the highest standard. So.
Well, you're here today to share with us some of your other lovely things, as well as the New York Beauty.
Yes, yeah.
You're going to do, this is thermoprinting?
Thermofax screen printing. Okay. And this particular design is one that I designed myself and that I use for workshops, as is the seed head one there. I am very fond of hand embroidery. I love to embellish things with hand embroidery. So embroidery on it that's really a vehicle for some hand embroidery. But it's a great technique in its own right as well. So this cushion here has just used
the screen printing.
The screen printing. Now, my dear friend Jill, who lent me these samples, it's very kind of her to do that. And she bought these screen prints ready-made. Right. So she didn't have to design the leaves or the flowers or anything. So you can buy ready-made designs as well, or you can customise them and have your own designs.
You're saying, and up to you then whether you embellish them or not?
It's completely up to you whether or not you embellish them. That's my particular thing.
And this is words. That's clever.
Yeah, it's super, isn't it? It's one that Jill ordered online and has used to make some Christmas themed.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So she didn't design it herself, but she's designed the little.
And you're going to show us. Sorry to interrupt. You're going to show us how easy it is.
Yes, it's really easy. It's probably the easiest form of printing I've done. So.
I like easy. You know.
Oh, so do I. Yes. So do I.
Dresden Plate. This is your take on Dresden Plate.
This is my take on Dresden Plate. I was teaching Dresden Plate, but I also happened to have to, I had an operation on my ankle, so I was in bed for 4 weeks with my ankle up. And while I was laid there thinking, oh, what can I teach them next? I suddenly came up with the idea of splitting the Dresden Plate petal into pieces.
Look, it's sort of like crazy.
Yes, it's a little bit like crazy. And of course, because you've got this particular one, there are 12 petals, so it creates lots of lovely secondary designs. And if you play around with the fabric, the lights, mediums and darks, you can get all sorts of designs.
And is this foundation pieced?
No, it's English paper piecing.
Oh, wow.
So I could do it in bed.
There's method in you.
Oh, of course. I never waste any time. So English paper piecing is probably one of my favourite techniques. So it's all English paper pieced.
Okay, and this is the same?
It's the same. It's a slightly more complicated
much bigger
version, much bigger, a giant block. And again, English paper piecing.
Okay.
So I could do it in bed. This is actually a tree skirt.
Oh, look, yes.
So it's got the split.
Okay.
But I am in the process of making one for me, for my new house.
Very nice.
And it's such a huge block, I'll only have to make 4.
For a quilt?
For a quilt. I'll have quite a large quilt by the time I've done that. And I'm always trying to recycle and use up scraps. So
But this comes as a pattern and templates?
Yes, a pattern and acrylic templates.
So really easy to use?
Makes it very easy and very, very portable. I actually did most of this while I was on a cruise. So again, I like the portability and the hand stitching aspect of EPP.
Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing this with us.
You're very welcome.
Looking forward to having my own go.
Thank you.